Well, at this hour, BART's board of directors is considering a 2-year budget plan that would increase fares as well as parking fees as the agency tries to stave off drastic cuts in service. KTVU's Tom Vakar spent time today at the BART meeting and joins us now with rider reaction to what is expected to be voted on today. Tom.
Well, you know, some of these things that are being voted on and now have been voted on, the meeting just ended, and a few are all likely to pass. BART and other transit agencies face a financial cliff as ridership has not come even close to recovering.
Before the pandemic, we were very reliant on passenger fares to pay for our operating costs, and we were very proud of the fact that we were able to do that. But our ridership went off the cliff during the pandemic, and so we're trying to find a new source of sustainable funding.
Now, BART's board has a lot on its plate to vote on to complete a 2-year budget, including a hefty fare increase.
If they raise the price, the effect is gonna be the same. The price for the travelers will be very similar to what you pay to drive a car.
The plan includes raising fares 11% over 2 years, meaning a $5 fare would go up to $5.55. BART would also raise parking fees, but the amount has yet to be determined. Low-income riders would pay just 50% for any ride. All of this would allow BART to spend an additional 7.5% for operational expenses such as energy, maintenance, and wages. Nonetheless, BART expects that operating revenues minus operating expenses would still leave it with a 2-year deficit of $93 million.
Painful, because I travel like 2 hours just to get to work every day. So $14, if it go up to like $20, that's $100 a week.
I think especially during the pandemic, a lot of people are not taking BART. A lot of people are still not taking BART. So I think it makes sense.
It could get a whole lot worse if the state of California does not put emergency statewide transit funding into its budget due next week.
In the meantime, we need the state to provide some temporary funding so we can keep going till we get to the point where we have a sustainable source of income.
Now, the authority for BART to raise parking fees has been approved, as has the low-income rider discount of 50%. Inflation-based fare increases were also approved, as was that increased spending, even with that $93 million deficit. Back to you.
Okay, so it appears as though BART riders are going to be paying more. Tom, when might these increases take effect? Do we know yet?
Well, we don't really know. We know a lot of this will begin at the beginning of the year, but the actual numbers and all of that stuff, it takes a time to reprogram everything and all of that. But why this is important is because the state is being asked by BART and other transit agencies for a lot of support to get them through the next 2 or 3 years so that they can find better sources of funding or get some better ridership. If they don't get that, then this thing is going to get much, much worse, and we'd be looking at something like over 5 years, a $700 million deficit. So they've got to convince the state that they're serious, and if the state sees that they're serious, they may throw in some money, and this thing won't be as bad as what we have right now. And what we have right now is way better than nothing.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, it looks like BART riders are going to be shelling out more. An important meeting and an important vote that affects so many. Tom, thank you.
Yep.